Hello, everybody. It is your boy Six Deuce. You guys know the deal, how we usually conduct ourselves today. This is gonna be a lot more, how can I say, entertaining in a way, but more informational today, a lot more professional today. We do got a well-known guest, at least in my eyes. You guys will get to know him as well to be more well-known. But shout out to my boy Bradley Boss. I'll go ahead and let you guys. I'll go ahead and let my boy introduce himself. But to start off, we'll keep it short and start broadcast. Shout out the co-host. We'll do all that later. But yeah, man, how you doing, Bradley? It's a pleasure to have you on here. Go ahead and introduce yourself to the people. Tell them where you come from and tell them what you're here for. Let them know what you got in the plans for the people of Missouri and in general what you're pushing for.
Absolutely. So, as our gracious host here said, I'm Bradley Boss. I'm been in the Missouri for my whole life. I've lived in Pierce City a good portion of it, and so a lot of changes happened this year, and a lot of struggles are coming our way. And so I have decided to put my hat in as running for my district's House of Representatives for District 157, which would be Lawrence County mostly. And so, with that being said, I'm also a father, husband, and I coach baseball. And this year, I do believe I'll be coaching wrestling in Monett as well. So I got a pretty full plate, but I'm ready to actually give my district an actual voice that will listen to the struggles and stuff that they're going through instead of just taking marching orders from the upper echelons of politics and actually listen to the district they're supposed to represent.
Okay, no, yeah, and I guess that kind of ties into the first question, but again, you feel free to elaborate. I'm gonna still go ahead and ask it because you kind of answered already. But for those just meeting you, who is Bradley Boss beyond politics?
Yeah, so yeah, like I said, I'm a baseball coach in Pierce City. I've been coaching for 3 years there. It's one of the probably coolest things I've ever done. Getting to know the kids and getting to know their families and everything there in Pierce City. They're all awesome. Couldn't ask for a better group of kids to coach. And this will be my first year coaching in Monett, which I'm pretty excited to do. My son's been there for 3 years as a wrestler, so I know the family is pretty well, but I'm excited to actually get there on the mat with them and get that started. It's gonna be pretty fun. I'm looking forward to it.
No, that sounds awesome, man. I do want to applaud my boy Bradley Bosch. If you guys don't know, now you know that's something actually that I really admire him for is being a great father, and I will honestly got to say a great friend as well. Because I will have to say that there's people in my own family ain't showed up, and it sucks because how busy my life with the music is. But I still do my most, whether it's showing up for a bit or whatever it may be. I do my best to. But that's exactly why I appreciate people like Bradley because he is not just a great person, a great father. He those type of people will show up for you. So I'm very confident in what he's gonna do for Missouri soon. So it's I believe in you, man. And there's not no maybe. You already won the race. All you people out there, I'm gonna tell you right now, just throw your talent. You know what I'm saying? What you're doing right now is just making yourself, you're just wasting unnecessary energy. Save it. But I do want to say and shout out Terps by the way for tapping in and showing love to everybody. He is also a great supporter and has a dope YouTube channel. Go check him out. But question number two: what inspired you to take the leap and run for Missouri's 157th district?
That's a very good question. And what kind of motivated me to do this is most of my friends have been begging me to for a few years now, but I just never felt like it was my place to do so quite yet.
Mm.
And the actions of my current representative kind of pushed me to run against him because I'm very like they just don't listen. And whenever we vote for things like the initiative petitions and stuff, and we get those amendments passed, they almost always turn around, throw it back out, and throw it back on the ballot. So it takes us like 3 times in order to actually get them to just keep it.
Yeah.
And so, like right now, for example, we passed paid sick leave, we passed Amendment 3, and then we passed a workers' wage increase. And all 3 of those things that we voted on and passed, all 3 of those are now struck down, and we're re-voting on them again next year. And I'm just tired of Missouri GOP members thinking that they can just decide what our voice should be instead of listening to what we've decided. And that's what made me want to run against them this year.
And I respect that too, because you know, this is something we spoke about off camera about how there's a lot of people in this world, you know, and again, some people either can't or won't, you know, but for the ones that do and take that leap, like yourself, salute to you because it's not easy because we do know being the voice is the first step and doing it the right way because you know what, as much as we do these protests, which do help, as much as we do these things, there's people like yourself that took the initiative to be like, hey, instead of talking about what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna run for it. I'm gonna go and make sure that I give the people a voice. So that's another thing. If you guys are out here in the Lawrence, I think it's Lawrence County, right, or
Yeah.
Berry County, both can vote for you, right? Those two
No,
counties.
it's just Lawrence County and Monette is kind of like split, kind of funky. And like, so like north of Cleveland, anybody that lives in Monette that lives north of Cleveland would be in my district with a
Okay.
few stragglers along the edge, obviously, but mostly north of Cleveland and Monette would be my, my constituents.
Okay. All right. That makes sense. But yeah, but for the ones out there that are, go ahead and vote for him. That'll be available soon. And that leads me to what I'm gonna ask next. So you said you represent you said representatives should represent the people, not party elites. What does that look like in action?
So what that looks like in action is actually picking up the phone whenever your constituents call, listening to them, and whether or not it's one or 110 constituents calling you, if they're calling you in that volume, that means that there's it's always smart to double the number that's called. So say 50 people call, 100 people actually call because everybody has families, and most of the time families all agree mostly on certain topics. And so if that one person's calling you, their family's calling you as well. And like for example, whenever they did the gerrymandering and everything here recently, and pretty much illegally redrawn all the maps for Missouri, uh, I my representative, both congressional and state, their inboxes were full. You couldn't even send them messages anymore because they weren't answering the phone, letting it all go to voicemail, and did whatever they wanted to in the end, anyways. So it's like that right there is not okay with me, and that's why I say like party elites and stuff because they will band together and listen to one politician and then they'll all vote the same way that politician votes instead of voting the way that their constituents would like them to. And that's what I'm aiming to change.
Okay, and I respect that too, because I guess we can put that not just into state politics, but in general politics in general, which you guys know on here, make it very clear. We're not speaking politics. It just so happened that my boy is into politics and is dealing with a lot of things right now to help change, not just talk about it, not just argue about it, not just be on
Yeah.
camera. Because see, that's the difference of what he wants to say. I want to make clear on here because I know a podcast it gets tricky, like, oh, stay away from politics, stay away. But no, I'm making it very clear. This is not campaign to sway you guys. This is not an interview to sway anybody. This is to show you who Bradley Boss is and what he wants to do for the people in Missouri because he wants to make a difference and not just talk about it. So I do want to make that twice as clear before we continue on because I don't want people to get confused like, oh no. People need to have more of an IQ and understand what's going on. And that's all we're trying to do is provide you more information on the inside of who he is and the changes he is trying to provide for the state. And I can agree that because I hate to be the guy to say this, but a lot of the times it is frustrating because even though voting can matter in a way, like you said, you got the people that band together and they're not doing the choices based on what's best for the people. They're doing what's based on best for their pockets and what makes it easier for them and their profits. And hate to say it's a profit game in the world in general these days. So that's why it's a tricky thing with politics because how these people aren't doing it for the people anymore. They're doing it where
No.
they can their foot in the door or where they can plant this there and for their agenda instead of really listening to the people's agenda like you were saying and you would like them to do, which is what led you to be able to like, you know what, let's not talk about it, let's debate and I'm against you. You want to argue about it, well go ahead bucko, I'm gonna go ahead and make the
10 toes
changes where
down.
can't ignore you now is what I'm trying to get at, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So number 4, let's talk education. what specific changes do you want to see in Missouri schools?
That's going to be a big one for me during my campaign this coming up year. And at the beginning of this year, our sweet Governor Kehoe decided that $300 million needed to be cut from our education department. And then later on that year, $64 million was cut again. So we're already almost at $400 million cut in the first 10 months of this year. And it's the education system, especially here in Missouri, always gets cut first before anything else does. And one of my things is I'm going to look at increasing that during my time there in Jefferson City. And I have a huge loan policy thing, and I don't know if you guys want me to go into that, but
You can no go ahead. This is your floor right now, man. Go ahead.
so my policy thing is and campaign thing is I don't want to see any more taxes getting put on the working class. The working class has been taxed to oblivion and back, and we pay for, can't remember the exact percentage, but it's a large percentage of the Missouri's budget. And then we got the top 20% of Missouri earners making almost collectively $140 billion a year in Missouri. And most of that stays in their bank account. It doesn't get reinvested in our infrastructure or schools or anything like that. It just stays in their accounts and keeps growing year by year. So my theory is I'll come up with an 8-year plan. And in that 8 years, I'd increase the Missouri state budget by $2.4 billion and over an 8-year time frame. And the tax increases will solely be on the top 20%.
Okay.
And so that's pretty much anybody that makes $150,000 a year. Any individual, not family, just any individual that makes $150,000 a year. And so we'll go that route with that, and then I'll do the simultaneous guardrails in place because, like Missouri's lottery system is supposed to go to public schools, but most people don't realize that that money gets diverted constantly to other revenues of just commerce. Sometimes it'll go to politicians' pockets. It goes wherever it wants to go. And I would advocate heavily in Jefferson City to get some guardrails in place so that way people can stop stealing that money. So that way teachers could get paid more. They're not overworked. Students can finally have good books and resources in that school. So that way, shop class can come back and they can learn how to do actual home repairs instead of building birdhouses, or home ec can come back and people can figure out more modern things to do, like how to work a credit card, how to pay credit card debt off, how to take loans out that's going to help you and not put you further in debt, or loans that you can't technically pay back. That's what I would. That's what I'd like to see in public schools, so that way everyone has a more rounded understanding of what real life looks like instead of what they're doing.
Yeah, because let's be real, nobody wants to teach anymore. They just want good worker bees.
Mm-hmm.
And let's be honest, the our schooling system back then, I wasn't alive to see it, but from what I was told, and my mother, my grandmother, yeah, it was a little crazier times, but they did have resources. They did, you know what I mean, have things to where, let's be honest, why do you think that technology's changed too and got a lot more electronical, but let's be real. Back then, they didn't go to mechanics, they were. They were the mechanics. Our grandparents were everything. They were what? You know, home
Yeah.
repair. We don't call it plumber. What? We got it, but we don't
Yeah.
teach that. Or we'd rather
No.
teach in worker bees and not company owners. We're not teaching CEOs no more because let's be real, the CEOs are in the private schools. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Yeah.
Which I hate
100%.
to say it, education shouldn't be based off of money. So I see where you're
No.
coming from. It shouldn't be. But yeah, shout out Mr. Tech and tap in too. We got another dope. He's a music artist and he has a lot of great knowledge in the Chicano community and a bunch of other stuff. So shout out my boy Bradley and us. We coming in the Hispanic community, come show him a lot more support and unity, because that's one thing I want to put out there. I don't want to make this about ethnicity in here because we all know the only color we see is green, and even then at a humble point, because money is the root to all evil and it's made to take care of your family, not to be selfish with it. So what I'm getting at is that's another thing that Bradley has earned my respect. If you guys don't know, don't judge a book by its cover and think just because you know my boy is lacking melanation that he's like everybody else you see. You know what I'm saying? The same way he doesn't look at every melanated person like myself and be like, hey, you know. So that's one thing I want you guys to know about him is that he's actually one of the most greatest people I know when it comes right is right and wrong is wrong to him. There's no such thing. And that's respectable because there's not many people left like that in the world. There's not many people that can agree to disagree because this is how it really gets. There's issues Bradley sees, I see, but he understands my perspective. I understand his perspective, and we're still the best of friends. We don't, you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So that's good people's right here. I just want to put that out there is that don't let it fool you. You know what I'm saying? It's good people's right here. But we got Alto Impact coming in. We got a good amount of people up here right now showing love. So let's hurry up and hop into the next question, number 5, and that trails off for number 4. Teachers are often undersupported and overworked. How would you tackle that issue head on?
Well, it kind of goes in with the policy that I just stated because with that budget increase, teachers, one, we could hire more of them. Their pay would go up so that way they can live a little bit slightly more comfortable life. And if schools are more adequately funded, teachers won't have to use their own paychecks to decorate their classrooms and everything like that. Like
They do.
most classrooms, people don't realize that, especially the ones that look really cool, decorated, and everything. That's because the teacher spent a large portion of her check to make it like that. Otherwise, he'll just be looking at brick walls and empty desks, and it'll be honestly a very depressing sight. And so, like, I would commend all of our teachers that go above and beyond for their job because it's what we need for these kids. And I hope to be a very strong advocate for them in Jefferson City and be able to actually get them the stuff that they need so that way they don't get burnt out and we don't lose them as teachers because we need them in order to bring up the future, the next generations to come.
We do. And you know what? I'm glad that not only you're such a strong advocate for the people in general, but for the working class, for teachers, because that's something with education. I think that's really wrong with the world, in my opinion, these days, is that people don't realize how overworked these teachers are, and they're putting 30 kids, 40 kids per classroom, and not enough resources, and the school's not even funding it. You're right. Have to, like, I promise you, that's why as a kid, I'm sorry I grew up a little crazy to all the teachers. I gave you a hard time because honestly, bro, I was just a kid, but exactly that. You don't realize what these teachers deal with. These free, I'm gonna just say, these heathens, you know what I'm saying? In a respectful way. Man, I love these kids, you know what I'm saying? Because you know, I was once those kids. That's why I say that. And people don't twist my words. We ain't Diddy around here. Saying, but what I'm getting at is for the youth, because like I said, I didn't have those resources growing up like that. So to see people like you that really care and advocate for the kids to get more of that, because that is the truth. If teachers had more help, I feel like they could give more help to these kids, you know, because they can only give so much. Because mind you, that's not even their first classroom. There's some teachers that deal with 30, and that's just the class. That's not counting the 4 or 5 classes they got that day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's just them. And what's crazy, not too long ago, I was in school. I remember when I was in school, uh, bro, I remember teachers getting to the point like, hey, you're not even supposed to be in here. This class is overfilled. You got to go to another class. And it's crazy. It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? So that's dope. And number 6, you kind of already answered. So I'm gonna ask it, but you explained what you already did for the people. So we'll go into depth with that, but I still gotta ask it. So number
Okay.
6 on workers' rights, what's your stance on raising wages and improving workplace conditions across Missouri? And you did make a difference. Talk to the people on what you did.
Yeah. So, like the initiative petitions, we passed it in 2023, I do believe, and it was a step increase. So what it kind of did, our pay raise every year would match the rate of inflation. So like say if inflation went up 5%, the pay would go up to 2.5%. That's why anybody worked in factories the past couple of years, if you ever realized that at the beginning of each year, your pay would slightly go up, that's why. That law that was in place would force the company to increase your pay because they're increasing the prices. And well, the GOP in Missouri didn't like that, and it's been repealed, and now it's getting put back on next year, and it's going to be slightly worded different. So it'll still do the same thing. They just took some words out they didn't like. So we're still going to be voting on that next year as well. And a bunch of my volunteers for my campaign, they're all going around doing petitions with that. So if you see anybody around the Southwest Missouri region with petitions, for sure reach out to them. They're going to be great guys, great people to talk to. They're going to be super friendly. And there's another petition I'm really backing right now, and it's Missouri's right to education. And it's focusing a lot on what my main campaign focus is going to be, but it's going to enshrine uh, the fact, like the guardrails for the lottery and everything. It's going to keep that money going to the schools instead of to other things that the government wants to splurge on.
Okay.
And yeah, so that's like I'm going back to education, but back to the workers.
You can. You can. The floor is yours, man. However you got to make it make sense. Hey, the floor is yours.
But so I'm a politician now, but before that, I worked in manufacturing for almost 12 years. Yeah, that's where I met this guy, this legend. And so I worked from anywhere from a sheet metal shop, chicken factories to playground manufacturing, and then I made boat docks for a few years. And through all those, I had conversations from all different kinds of people, all different political backgrounds, some even non-political, like it didn't bother them at all. And through all of that, I pretty much learned that, healthcare is expensive. Most of the time, it does nothing for you, even though you pay for it. They can deny you just to deny you. And then you have just I'm a big backer of unions. I think unions are one of the strongest factors in our country, but I do think that they need to be modernized a little bit because I do think the bylaws and policies that governments have right now that gives the heads of those unions slightly too much power over their I don't know, the people that pay the dues. And I think there should be a little bit more transparency on where that money goes because some unions you'll see the bank account being really small, but the president of that union is driving a Bentley. Like,
yeah, it's crazy.
like,
right?
yeah. So that's where I think there should be something a little investigated there. I don't know exactly what policy could go into place on that, but that's what I kind of feel like we should look into and try to help our unions out and help them grow and be more accessible, especially in the state.
And that's something I admire too, and I want to put out there. It's just more like a statement on my end, and again, like giving you props there. That's something you guys got to understand. See, Bradley Boss isn't just some dude that's talking about the working class. No, like I met the man through hard work. You know what I'm saying? Like these are people, and he's a person that comes from that. So he's not just people from the office typing, going, "Oh, this is what I think needs to happen." No, like this man was front lines in some of the craziest manufacturing environments and hardworking environments in here in Missouri. And it's like to know that, to go through that, to want to make the change, that's different from a lot of these people. Like I hate to say it, like the draft dodger we have as a president, to where he's never even, you know what I'm saying? Like, whatever, right? We ain't gonna go there. People gonna get off, but whatever, right? Though I'm gonna go and say it, the baboon. You know what I'm saying? The orange baboon. We're gonna just put it out there. You can say what they want to say, But that's kind of my whole point. So that you see people like that running the country, but has probably not lifted a finger. You know what I'm saying? So whether Bradley Boss is starting here in Missouri, you don't know where that can trail off to. And I see it going through many great things further past just Missouri, but I respect that, like most people don't cry about what's happening in your backyard. Get something done. And it don't always got to be directly politics. Back up, endorse, show love to people like Bradley Boston and support him to help be that voice. You don't always got to be directly doing it, but instead of being the person talking about it, I can respect a man like himself that went out of his way to do something about it because he's actually felt it. He didn't not just talking to you guys about hard work. No, we literally were manufacturing boat parts bigger than some of your houses. You know what I'm saying? Like we ain't joking here. Like we were like real life. You know what I'm talking about. We were struggling.
Mm-hmm.
Or remember that day that mold almost fell on me? You thought I was down there and you thought it fell on me and you were like, yo, where you at? And I had my headphones on. I come out like, why is everybody? I look behind me. There's a whole crack in the floor and a mold as big as a boat. And I'm like, He was like, you know,
Yeah,
that just fell off when you were sweeping down there, right? I was like, no. I was like, I ain't
yeah,
know.
yeah.
Man,
That was
uh,
insane, dude. That gave me a heart attack. I was like, oh no. I was like, I lost him. I was
he's
like,
like, we
no.
lost the work, we lost Ezekiel. But nah, luckily God is good. But that's how crazy it was because mind you, I just thought it was bass in the headphones. No, I turned around and everybody said it was so strong it shook the factory. That's how heavy, because it was one of our larger molds.
Mhm.
It was like one of our biggest molds we do on that, the 552 at where we were at. And whew, let's just say I dodged more than just a bullet.
Yeah.
But
Deep pancake.
oh, real talk. Let's talk about Mexican food, huh? But number six. I mean, no, I'm lying. I'm past seven already. We already did six. Number seven. So you like to emphasize transparency and accountability. What do you believe are the biggest gaps in Missouri's government right now?
Pretty much ran on this at the beginning of the video, but we got some new people in here, so I'll say it again.
Mhm.
Uh, the Most of the politicians that are in there now, we do these things called town halls, and the main focus of these town halls is to go to your constituents where they're at and listen to what they have to say. They're either going to praise you for doing a good job. They might have some critiques that they want you to focus on in the next session that's coming up, or they might be mad at you and they want to yell at you.
Okay.
And all three of those is the representative's responsibility to listen to. Even if it's going to make you uncomfortable, even though you're going to get streamed out for an hour. I mean, you at that point, you messed up, and you should probably go back to Jefferson City with a different fire in you and do what your constituents want to do. And so that's what I'm aiming to change in that. Because after I'm elected, one of the things I've been telling everybody is my phone calls and my emails will always be open. If I'm busy, I probably won't answer right away, but I'll definitely call those numbers back and listen to what they got to say to me. Because if they're calling me, it's either one, they have a question, or one, they just need to talk to me about something, and it's my job to listen. That's what representatives are. We're not an independent voice. Is pretty much the way I'm looking at it. We're just a megaphone or a microphone for the people of that district to talk through. We are there to take our own gusto and amplify it for the people back home. And for some reason, whenever candidates get elected and then put into the Capitol building, they just forget that they have neighbors. And that's one of my biggest things. And I've been an activist for my whole life. And I know some people think that's a dirty word, but really what activism only is that you've mobilized your own energy into checking on your neighbors, making sure they got what they got going on. And that's just what I'm pretty much going to be bringing to Jefferson City. We need somebody that's willing to be a neighbor and go there and talk to people in charge and get them to listen to people back home.
100%. No, yeah. And yes, number eight ties into number seven along with the response you just gave. So you don't got to get too deep with this either because it kind of does tie into it. Is that how do you plan to keep your constituents' voices at the center of every decision? If I said,
Yeah, I'll answer your phone calls. I'll show up in town halls. Any session, whenever sessions end, we're supposed to come back home, and that's what we're supposed to do. But I will be more than happy to go to anywhere anybody needs me to show up at. And I'm even doing that now with my campaign. Anybody that wants me to show up to their house, show up to their job, wherever they want to talk to me at, I'm more than willing to show up and let them know what I'm about and try to see and not only tell them what I'm about, but also listen to what they're about and get their input on what they would like to see from me. And we might not agree, but I will still listen. And and my big thing is I want to represent everybody, whether you agree with me or not. That's irrelevant. I'll still be your representative. I'll still listen, and even the fact that we don't disagree might lead to something even more cohesive and able to come up with something even better. Difference opinion does not mean a bad thing, in my opinion. It just means there's an opportunity for real growth in that. Because if it's just an echo chamber, you're just going to turn into stagnant water, and you're not going to go anywhere.
no, okay, no, and that's real, and I'm gonna go ahead and skip to number 12. I mean to number 11, only because it did answer itself with what you just said, and you just said it. Number 10 was many voters feel disconnected from the representatives, and how do you plan to change it? And you said just that. You're willing to show up, you're willing to take conversation, you're willing to do what you got to do, willing to answer phone calls. Not like these other politicians who just you call them up and it's can't even get through to them, or they're purposely ignoring you. They could care less about the people. They already got what they got out of the vote, so it's what do I got to listen for? And
Yeah.
that's kind of it. Most people aren't in it for the right reasons. They're in it for their own personal gain and what they can make for their agenda versus people like, look, I'm in this because I'm tired of the people like me that really went through it, experienced it. And I like these, again, I say these draft dodgers out here, you know what I'm saying? It ain't about going to go serve, but just if you're gonna, it's kind of like me. Not trying to get off subject or make it about that, but I when I was younger and I was in foster care, I used to tell it real because we used to go to this drug counseling, right? And look, we had to. It's not that we were on them; it doesn't matter. Just it was their way. You were had a mandatory go to therapy. All these programs. It was not even your choice. You could have been clean as a whistle. You still had to go.
Right.
So I would ask because they would be real judgmental. So it's an example of the fact that you actually been through it to tell these people, not just these people sitting from office. So and no disrespect to them either. I'm just keeping it real because even there's some people that work in the office, but they put that best foot forward and they're right their front lines when they need to be, you know. But that's
Mhm.
not the case for a lot of these people. So like for me, I asked a real question one day, and it's comparable to the fact of politicians just in general. Now they were drug counselors, and I asked somebody a serious question. I said, "Look, I'm not saying that doesn't make you knowledgeable, but have you ever went through anything like this in your life? What made you become a drug counselor? Well, no, I've never. And I told her some real stuff. Well, then what makes you think you can tell me what I've been through personally? You know what I mean? So I'm not saying it's whatever, like they can't, but it's like education and knowledge are two different things. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? People with a degree that what's that mean? You know what I'm saying? I hate to say it. I'm not saying it doesn't mean nothing, but I'm trying to say the point of is that there's people that look the part. Now, who's the people that are going to put in the work for the part? And that's again, that's
Mhm.
where the boss comes in. So I just want to put that out there that that's an experience I've had to where I could see why people are questioning other people because, like you've explained to me, and it's not to smut nobody. You pretty much ran down the lesser words how it could be out here. That's all I want to say. I'm very careful with my words for reasons being just because I don't want to put words in nobody's mouth or hinder anybody. But I'm just being very honest that you were very transparent about the fact of why you're making the change. That's what I will say. And the type of people that are in charge at the moment, let's just say they not doing what they're supposed to do. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So that's the best way I can put it because I want to keep it professional here. So yeah, back to this though. Um, being a husband, father, and coach, how do these roles shape your leadership style?
So I would say in the years, past years, coaching and everything like that, um, it gave me more of an ability to kind of take a step back because as you've seen, whenever I was boss man at Play Power,
Yes.
I didn't really lead with "I'm your boss, you listen to me." I kind of just gave out expectations and then listened back from you guys on the best way to be able to get the job done. And we ended up turning that tower, doing it that way, into one of the most highest producing towers that entire in the entire building. All the shifts. We produced the most parts, more high quality parts. And honestly, I think we all had a great time up on that tower. We all some of us bust
Wasn't
out
stressful, I
moves
wouldn't say it was.
sometimes, like I think we all had a great time up there, and that's kind of how I'm gonna be my do my leadership. I'm the leader, but at the same time, leaders listen, and most of the time, I might have an idea, and I might think that idea is the best thing that we could probably do. But if I take the time to ask X, Y, Z, and tell them my idea and listen to what they think, that idea can morph into something even better than I originally thought it could be possible. And so that's the way I'm going to lead. I'm going to lead by one leading and then one by listening. And combining both of those together, I don't see it failing at all.
and
Like,
and I do see that being a great plan and qualities because being a father and leader are all in one and the same. Because what does a father do? They lead, right? You know what I'm saying? And I do want to say that you are one of those people I can proudly say are that because there's a lot of people that have the title, but whether it's a father, whether it's a politician, whether it's anything. It's more titles these days. It's few people that can actually represent that. And because I don't vouch for many, I want to make it very clear. I don't want you guys thinking on here, oh, because this is his. I don't mean nothing. This is somebody, even if I didn't know him a day in my life, the things I've seen him go through and do, and exactly like he said, I've had plenty of supervisors, right? And that's another thing that he's never made me feel like less because he even told me, look, bro, it's just the job title. As long as you do what you got to do, whatever, I'm gonna hear you out. I'm gonna whatever. But outside of work, I'm gonna treat you like you just like me. And that's what I respect because he never used his position to make me feel like less. And I know for a fact what he's gonna do for the people of Missouri is gonna be even more than that. So, hey man, keep doing your thing. So we're gonna hop on these next questions because it's a 30-minute interview, but I ain't gonna stop it just because this is interesting. We got good things going. So we'll get through these last couple of questions, let you do your shout out, let the people know who you are. But I'm gonna get on to the next one. So, how do you balance empathy and policy making in such a polarized political climate?
Yeah, see, been obviously a really probably big struggle for almost the entire United States at this point. I'm pretty sure someone somewhere has had a major disagreement with a family member, cut them off, kicked them out of their life, and all that other stuff over politics for sure. And
Yeah.
I think one of the biggest things is you have to take a step back on some things because some things people will never change their mind on. And those things like that, you might as well honestly avoid the topic because if they're set in that way, then they're set. And then you're not going to change their mind. All you're going to do is really just kind of increase that divide between one another and figure out what you guys can work on and kind of just give space for something to grow. Because if you guys are constantly smothering and clashing over one topic, nothing else is going to grow from that. And so that's kind of the way I'm going to go into Washington. As much as I dog on the GOP there, they're going to be my constituents. We're not going to disagree on large amounts of things. But I do know there's going to be gray areas on many of those things. If we talk about it long enough, we'll be able to come to some sort of cohesive agreement on something to get something made. And
Okay.
like, so even though like I dogged on a lot during this, but I'll still be more than willing to sit down, listen to them, and see what we can do to make the people of Missouri better off than they were the day before, for sure.
Okay. 100%. Nah, yeah. And I want y'all to know again. I repeat. Make sure you show some love. Go show support if you are local in Missouri. If you're not, you can still support in other ways. You can contact Bradley Boss in many different ways. I will have it up in links on Instagram on SR underscore broadcast if you guys need help voting for him, other things. And again, you do have to live nearby. So the ones that are nearby, the ones that are not, like I said, you can support in other ways. Share it, tell people about it, let people know who he is, and it helps him anyways. Like I said, he's starting in Missouri. Who knows what this man can do for the world? You guys just don't know. Like I said, I'm gonna say the third time. If an orange baboon can run this country, bro, come on, bro. My boy got way more than a chance. You know what I'm saying? Way more than a chance. So, man, as y'all can tell, I don't like the guy. And I ain't talking about Bradley Boss either. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, because that guy's likable. You know what I'm saying? Man.
Yeah.
But but yeah, as you can tell, even though I don't agree on that matter, you don't see me here going, if y'all don't believe in this as well. See what I'm saying? See how that works? You see how that works? How I can have an opinion and y'all can have an opinion and it don't gotta blow up, right? So number 13, what's the biggest misconception people might have about Democrats, specifically more in Missouri?
So big thing that I hear a lot because I do have a lot of Republican friends and a few MAGA friends, and their assumption with Democrats is we're pretty much just a bunch of gun grabbers. You elect a Democrat, you're going to lose your gun, and that's not even close to true. At least not for me, especially. Like I've told a few people already, I will be very, very picky on any gun legislation coming in. Like I'm a gun owner myself. I have almost all my friends are gun owners, and I do think that there is, you know, because Second Amendment is a very touchy subject for a wide variety of people, and I do think there is gun responsibility reform that can be passed. I don't think purchasing a firearm should be just like purchasing a car. You walk in, you walk out the same day with the keys. I don't think that guns should be operated that way. I do believe at bare minimum 48-hour hold on any purchase of a firearm, stricter background checks, making sure that there's no like DV charges
I
or
totally
anything like
agree.
that. Yes, make sure that try to limit the amount of already proven aggressive people won't get a tool that can escalate that aggression. And so that's one way we can do it. And then smart storage laws where people that do own guns have adequate storage to put them in. So that way their kids or whatnot, if they're getting a hard time at school, don't go home one day and just walk into the closet and grab dad's gun off the shelf.
True.
Like like storage units and stuff like that. And people have already brought up a few conversations that I've had with the general public around here about AR-15s and if I think they should be confiscated. I don't, and that's probably going to shock a lot of Democrats. But I do think there should be a paywall behind it because it
Mhm,
is a different caliber of rifle. It's not just a hunting rifle,
mhm.
and is more deadly than an average hunting rifle. So I do think it should be a permit only rifle. Like we have like several firearms already that you can't own without having a permit.
Yeah,
And I think that AR-15 in particular should join that category because with that you'll get one that they'll have that paywall. So most people that are going to pay extra money to own something probably aren't going to do something crazy with it because then they're just wasting their money.
yeah,
And two, the background checks for those permits are more rigorous than just a typical firearm background check. So they'll have an enhanced background check behind it. And most of the time, it does require storage requirements in order to get the permit. So you have to prove that you have the proper storage for it. And I do believe putting it behind that paywall would definitely help. And I've told people before, with firearms in particular, the gun is the tool of the problem. The gun itself isn't the problem. And it's
and
a three-stage problem. One, it's accessibility. Second one is mental health. And the third one is knowledge. People don't take the seriousness and gravity of owning a firearm the way they should. Most people just own one because it's cool to own. It
oh,
goes
look at
boom.
me, I got
Yeah,
it.
it goes boom. So most people just buy that just to have that. But mental health is the big one out of the three. And because I don't know about you, but most sane people don't look at elementary schools as targets. And
For sure, I don't. So I don't know what anybody else be unless they
yeah,
did have.
so the mental health thing, I think if we expanded the access in general to mental health, either putting a cap on how much a psychiatrist and therapist can charge somebody that's needing that help would be very beneficial. If not, just making it universal, adding it to some sort of like Medicaid or something. So that way your neighbor can get the help that they really, really need in order to keep them from going extra crazy. And all that stuff, and it's losing it. And like I just said, the accessibility part, there's multiple ways we can do that. And I'm very open to talk to anybody that might have a better idea than I do. So that's my
Okay.
thoughts on that.
And you know, it's something I respect that you said out of that whole thing, and I don't want to emphasize too much on the. Again, I'm not saying on your end you're perfectly fine, but on my end, so people don't just think I'm emphasizing on that. But on firearms, I do want to put that out there, and you're right. It is a lack of knowledge, and it does play a big role in mental health. And because, like, again, I'm going to tell you right now, somebody like myself, for example, I do come from, and I'm going to put it out there because I'm being transparent, not hide for nobody. I did grow up in a heavily gang related background, right? And while most people think, hey, watch out for that, I'm going to tell you right now, at least half the people I know, whether you see on the news, the narratives you bring, they're not thinking about shooting up schools. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, it's happened. Unfortunately, children have been hurt. But do you think people like me wake up and go, hey, you see that child? Hey, you see those innocent people over there? Let me go harm them. No. So that's what people gotta understand and play a factor. It's not necessarily the thing itself. It does play a key part in the people that are handling it. You know what I'm saying? And now I'm not saying I'm advocating for gang members. I'm not saying that's a positive lifestyle because again, stay out of jail, stay out of prison, stay out of gangs. I don't advocate for that. I don't think that's a good thing for anybody. I do want my children to reach education and higher things in their life. Other than that, I'm just putting forward how somebody like myself came from that and doesn't indulge in that. Somebody that came from that and doesn't think about things like that. I'm not advocating for the streets. I'm not advocating for gang or violence. No, I'm honestly, people say what they want and call me a switch up. I'm a father first. I'm a father first. And I'm going to tell you right now, my background or where I come from doesn't define who I am today and the man I am today and what I stand for, because I may have came from that, but I'm not that. You know what I'm saying? So that's the reason why I brought that up, because that's another, I think, not just with Democrats and Republicans and politics. I think in the world in general, it's a bad rap. And I feel like the government puts blame on firearm, not understanding like anything else. For example, something as innocent as a cheeseburger. You eat enough of those, you can die.
Yeah.
You eat enough of those, you're out of here. But you don't see nobody going, hey, take down McDonald's. Hey, man. And I'll tell you, that's more deadly. I'm gonna tell you right now. You know how many people, and you're gonna say, "Oh no, look it up." You know how many people pass away from heart disease on a yearly basis? How many people pass away from diabetes on a yearly basis? Compare that to the gun statistics, and I'll let you do your math. And not
Yeah.
the fake statistics, not the ones people want to. My boy Bradley Boss will tell you.
Yeah. Like it's it's a lot. So like well, what was the question again? Sorry.
Oh no, nothing. We'll move forward. We were just agreeing. I was just agreeing on how your
Oh
outlook.
no. I thought you asked a
Versus,
question.
yeah.
I was listening to you. I was like, yeah.
Now you good, you good. It is kind of late for us too, but I'm gonna go
Yeah.
ahead and answer a comment question first. I do like to interact, and I'll leave you
Okay.
to answer. But Terps asked, "What about a person like me? I got caught transporting illegals. Do you believe in giving me a second chance at giving me my rights back?"
I think everybody deserves second chances. If enough time had passed and there's concrete evidence that you've grown from that incident, I don't think it should hang over your life for the rest of your life. I think if there's proven growth and you've completely flipped your life around and everything, absolutely. Everybody makes mistakes. We're all human. This is our first time on this planet, and we're gonna mess up. We're gonna do some crazy stuff, and I think we should all be given the opportunity to build from that. And if we have, we should be rewarded for it. I do believe. Yeah, hundred
Great.
percent.
We'll go, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I just said 100%. Yeah, second chance.
No, and I respect that too. And that's exactly why I wanted y'all to check out and hear from Bradley Boss today, my boy, a real close friend of mine. And not just because we are friends, because I see his vision, I see what he's doing, and I can respect that, because you don't know how many people out here support all the wrong things. So if I'm going to support anything in my upcoming life and the way I want y'all to putting out there, your boy probably has been sober off of weed for a few days. Now, I'm not saying it's a problem. I'm just putting it out. I don't want to speak about things like that. I'm changing my life slowly. I haven't drank. I'm doing plenty of things for myself. I want to advocate for
Hey, a
soberness,
couple days is a victory, man.
you
Like
know?
celebrate it.
So yeah, so I do want to say that I can officially say, whether it's a few days, I've been fully sober off of liquor for a while. I've never been a big drinker, but I'm just putting it out there. It's possible for all of us for change, whether it's your health, whether it's your life. I'm just sharing all this to be transparent, because what people don't understand is that I'm not afraid to be that, because like you said, people deserve second chances. So to think that I'm moving forward, it's like there's people that aren't trying to change. There's people that aren't making the change. You know what I'm saying? And they get clapped up all days. But I feel like the moment you're transparent these days, not many people like yourself, politicians, will take that in and accept you, because they're going to just judge you a book by its cover. And that's kind of why I respect why you're running from Missouri. And I can't wait to see the things you're not doing for Missouri, but for the world soon.
Yeah. Thank you, man. I really appreciate it.
Gotcha.
Really.
So last two questions. Number 14, fast forward 5 years. What's your vision for Missouri once your platform succeeds?
Hopefully, a lot of my dreams become reality. Hopefully, our teachers and students finally get the resources they need to thrive in their own creativity and be able to do the things that they wish they could do previously. And I hope the workers finally feel like they can live longer than paycheck to paycheck, and they can take those trips down to the lake in the summer, or take that vacation to Disneyland whenever they want to take their kids there, instead of having to work 60 plus hours a week for 3 months in order to even make that happen. I hope by the end of my 4 years, if elected, some of those stepping stones have been placed.
Win, win. Now, you know what's crazy? You see this question, it said IF in here, but I changed that to win because when your platform succeeds, because you are going to succeed,
Yeah,
Bradley.
yeah, I'm going to win. There's no way.
Yep, you know, so one, that's why, because I even read it right here. It came with an IF, but I said, nope. Well, you know, words are powerful. Win, you win it because you are, man. So I do want to say the last question is the most important. What's one message you want the viewers to take away from this interview and ways they can contact you?
So hopefully they take away from this interview, listen to me, talk about my passion in politics and everything, is that there are people in almost every district in every state right now, similar to me, trying to run their own campaigns and stuff. And if you're not in my state or in my district, I urge you to look it up, figure out who's in your district, who's running, get to meet them, and you guys everyone feels represented. And I hope by listening to me talk, I hope that you feel like I'd be a very good representation of you, and you guys can back me. And you guys can find me on TikTok under Boss for 157, and the same thing for Instagram, Facebook, and Blue Sky. I'm
Okay.
on all four of those, and you guys be able to find me on there. And if you guys have any questions, want to meet up, chit chat, whatever, my inbox on Facebook's always open, and my email is boss for 417 at gmail.com. And you guys can email anytime. If I don't get back right away, if it might be a day or so, I will eventually get back to you, and we'll definitely connect and figure out what we can get done. For
Okay.
sure.
I do want to let y'all know. Thank you guys to everybody that was up in here viewing. At one point, we had 20 to 30 viewers, so it is highly appreciated. I am very thankful for you guys right now. We even got 7, if I'm not mistaken. It says 1, but on my end, it's 7, and I can see the real number here. I ain't just making things up, y'all. Yeah, because on my end, I can see the statistics and how long people watched, didn't watch. So I don't need to lie to you guys. But yeah, I want to give a big thanks to you guys coming and supporting my boy Bradley Boss. He's doing great things for himself, his family, for Missouri, for the community. Now, mind you, I'm from the West Coast, but your boy right here in Missouri. My daughter was born right here in Missouri. It is what it is. We connected from the 417 to the 562. You know what I'm saying, man? So it's all love. I just do want to put that out there that I stand fully behind him and what he does and what he stands for. You fully have the support of Super Righteous Broadcast. You have the full support of Spill Records and our partnerships, Cali Media. Everybody's fully behind you. My family on my end, you already know you got our vote. And if y'all can and want to, go vote for him. If you're unsure if you can, or you're nearby, or you don't know what you're able to do, contact him. Facebook, TikTok. He's always open. This is a great person right here. So I do want to say thank you so much for coming on here. Thank you guys for tapping the Super Righteous Broadcast. And go ahead, man. You can take it away and give your goodbyes if you would like.
Yeah, thanks for having me on here, guys. And shout out to SR Broadcast for even having me on. I know I'm a little bit out of the box for your current viewership and everything, and I hope I was able to, bring a little bit of knowledge to the table, and hopefully, people enjoyed it. Hopefully, I wasn't too droning on about politics. I know it can get pretty boring sometimes.
Nah, it's not, and that's why I want to make it clear to everybody, because that's another thing we'll put out there. I know what podcasts were like, oh, again, I repeat, stay away from politics, stay away from ethnicity, stay away from talking about certain subjects, but I'm going to straight flat out say it. That's where the difference is with this. My boy Bradley isn't just another politician, saying he is not just another person with a title trying to talk to you guys about policies. No, he's putting in work these policies that matter, because I'm going to tell you right now, all day, I don't know about you guys, but actual education and knowledge that helps people, I'm all ears. And that's what SR Broadcast is all about. We cover music, media, and more. And I've actually had to say it. Respect to all my artists, and I'm thankful for all the people that come on here. But we did have to mix it up. And we did have to mix it up. And that's where the different people are. We have different viewers. Shout HCB Chemistry. He'll understand. He's a individual that would fully understand, just like Terps, the people that tapped in right now. And my whole point is, not everybody that's watching me is rappers. You know what I'm saying? So actually, you believe it or not, you'll be surprised of who stayed to listen and why they even came in. So shout out to them. Like I said, Mr. Tekken was in here, HCB Chemistry, my boy Turbs. We had Alto Impact, and then there's not ones that commented, but there was more in here. So what I'm pretty much going to end it off and say is that whether you guys liked it or not, I know the right ones will. You know what I'm saying? I know the right ones will, and it's going to reach the right ones. And that's all that matters. You know what I'm saying? Because we do have a wide variety on here. I will give it that. Because if anything, I hate to say it, I've noticed I've gained more this interview. I hate to say it. There's people that don't want to be mean to me, but they're probably like, Six Dudes, we're tired of just listening just about music. You said you cover music media more. Where's the rest at? And so we had to give you had to give them the real.
Yeah, 100%.
So yeah, man, you have a blessed night. My boy Bradley Boss here. Ain't no maybe if and or but. You guys are looking at the next, what is I'm saying right? 157th
Yep.
right district representative right here. This is what you're looking at right here. Ain't no if, ands, or but. Shout out to him. And I'm waiting on my schedule. He is having a meeting in Branson soon. I wish him the best of luck. I'm gonna do my best to make it. Shout Chick-fil-A. I just got a new job right now, you know. And point is that I'm gonna do my best to make it, but if not, I will broadcast it at least as far as like letting y'all know where to go find him and etc. Things like that. I will know by tomorrow, but I'm bringing it up because he's doing great things. And if y'all are around Branson and want to attend and want to show love, hit him up. Obviously, it does cost some money, but it's for a reason. You're gonna be in the room with some of the most crazy. Just put it like this: the other day, I was 2 feet away from a U.S. Senate, had no idea. No idea. No idea. Walk in the room. Hey, Bradley, you know, I'm sorry I can't stay because my daughter's sick. Woo, you know.
Yeah, there's a
Turned
senator
around.
right next
No
to
wonder
you.
everybody was looking at me. No wonder everybody was looking at me, man, because I was like, and then Bradley goes, hey, man, I don't know if you know this, but the dude behind the dude you spoke to was a U.S. Senate. I was like, oh, okay. Okay, so yeah, my boy's big doing it. That's all I want to say. So, you know, working everything, I'm doing my best ability. So, you know, unfortunately, I can't always make it there. I'm there in other ways. I want y'all to know you're gonna see a lot more of this. If y'all want to check out La Michoacana, I'm on that Missouri. We are gonna put I already have the poster, but I'm tomorrow gonna put the barcode. So if you guys want to go scan it, check out, start wanting to know more information on how and where to vote for him. That's one place you can find it at, but there's gonna be plenty of other places representing him, backing him up throughout Missouri. So if you want to check it out, know where to go to, know who to hit up, know who to vote for. It's Bradley Boss, and he's the man you want to go talk to.
Absolutely.
Thank you. You have a blessed night. You take care of you and your family. I can't wait. I'm gonna make some snippets of this to throw up on Instagram soon. It's SR Broadcast. It's your boy Ezekiel. I'm gonna give you guys my real name today. Why are we hiding? I don't hide for nobody. Shout out to Bradley. It's your boy Six Deuce. You know who it is, but hey, we're gonna hit you with the government one time. You know what I'm saying? We hit you with the government name one time. So thank you guys. It was an honor. It was a great, fun, educating interview. And I hope the right people understand what we talked about. Don't misconcept what we talk about. And if you do, hey, we can agree to disagree. But know that I'm transparent the way I am, and Bradley's transparent the way he is, because again, he's one of the few politicians in the game that are for the people, and understand that people aren't perfect. So as long as, like you said, you're showing a track record of at least trying to change, he's nobody that's gonna shut you down. He's gonna give you resources and to tell you where to go if you need help. He's gonna be the first one to show you love, whether he agrees with you or not.
Oh, and one more thing. I have a food drive happening in Monett tomorrow in front of Wesco Home Furnishings from 1 to 4. So if you have any food that you want to donate, because food stamps is being canceled next month, food stamps in WIC. So I'm trying to compile a bunch of resources up to donate to Crosslines and return back to Pura City and give them to the families there. So if you guys show up tomorrow, I'm more than happy to do a Q&A with y'all and get some food for the community as well. For sure.
Y'all, that's I'm gonna go donate myself. And this is how you know it's so real. Your boy even struggling, but that's how real I am and Bradley is that we gonna help out. So I'm gonna do the best I can. I can't promise the world, but that's something I can for sure make it to because I'm off tomorrow. Ain't no Chick-fil-A on a Sunday. Y'all know this. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no Chick-fil-A on a Sunday, which I don't know why. But I mean, I know why. But come on, man. Come on. You know, chicken's good. But yeah, I can for sure, like I said, I'm still on a teeter-totter. I did do my best. I even went as far as, Robert was supplying the money to go, but again, it's based on my job. But what I can do, because I'm a man of my word, I for sure am off tomorrow, so I won't miss the food drive for sure. And I at least want to be there to support in that way. And I'm gonna broadcast it. So y'all stay tuned and watch us while we're right there. We're gonna go live and show y'all what we up to.
Nice. All right, man. Well, I'll talk to you later.
I'll see you tomorrow. Send me the address. I know where
Yeah.
it's at, but send me the address. I'm gonna post it to help out on night, because I do got a lot of the people in Missouri I'm working with. They might see it, and even though they're not from here, hey, they can help out. How they can help out,
Yeah.
I'll go reach out to them too.
All right. Awesome, man. Yeah, for sure.
All right, thanks, man. Have a good night. Y'all heard it here. Shout out Bradley Boss, SR Broadcast. We out.